Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Massive news release today. Listen to this. And this is why I said, remember we were reading those articles and there were these banks coming out and they were putting this pressure against the DLT companies led by Ripple. Let's be clear. They all want to become banks now. Ripple wants to become, they want a subsidiary bank. I think Coinbase now wants to do the whole bank thing, and a couple other DLT companies. And you had this small group of banks that were coming out and they were vocal in the media. Oh, we don't want them to become banks. Come on, you got to put more, what was it called? Like, regulations in place that they have to jump through these hoops. And I said, that's not going to be anything that's going to hold us back. I said that because their power is waning. And I felt that it was a distraction, because they know their power is waning. The time for crypto to be unleashed is already here. The regulators, the big money, the big asset managers, the big banks are all on board. So who are these people? Why are they doing that? So that happened. All of a sudden, that news just kind of fizzled out. Everyone's talking about everything else, distractions. Now this tells me I was correct. This article is titled, folks, "The OCC has fired the starting pistol." Boom. That's big news. The starting pistol in a race. A race. Do you know what? In a race to open new banks. Folks, in a race between financial institutions. Firstly, we have the question, why is there a race? One. But when there's a race, that means there's a flood of capital. A flood of capital. Who are the ones at the forefront? Bank coin companies. Who are the ones that have the connections for the collections? Bank coin companies. Who has the advantage? Bank coin companies. It's like you're putting Usain Bolt against a bunch of high schoolers. He's going to smoke them. And in a game it's all about value. This is the golden pathway to Ripple. See, it's not about the bank necessarily. That's just a strategic move on the chessboard. When they're able to start a bank, and now the starting pistol has been fired, they gain access to the system. This is beautiful in ways that they've never had before. In 2026 and 2027, those 2 years, they should run wild. You think now, I've gone over this before, all the particulars, but you can look it up for yourself. If you need to see these things for yourself. What does it mean for Ripple? Let's just take Ripple as an example. Look it up, Google search. What does it mean for Ripple to have a subsidiary bank and have access to a Fed account? Boom. I'm telling you, one simple search is going to blow your mind. If you haven't already heard it in the videos where I presented the information to you. Let's read this little tidbit here. Just bear with me. I'm scrolling down. So this month, the Office of the Comptroller of Currency approved the application for a new bank charter for Erebor. Wait a minute, pause. If you like this type of content, take those powerful hands of yours and hit that like button. Did you see part 1 of the members only video yesterday? Make sure you go catch that. There's a reason it's a part 1. Go check out that members only video before part 2 drops. And I expect part 2 to hit hard. But wait, let's keep going. We're going to reveal a lot in this. So for a new bank charter for Erebor, the approval letter is the normal bureaucratic legalese, and the bank is many months away from opening its doors. Still, the Erebor approval has profound, look at the words, it's from American Banker, AmericanBanker.com. So it's serious. The Erebor approval has profound implications for the future of financial services and for fintechs. Who are they talking about? Who's been making the news when it comes to this? You already know. The golden age inches that much closer. And I don't know about you, but I want that bank money I like that bank money. It says for fintechs and the banks that support that ecosystem. Let's go here, because now we're really going to delve deep. See, this is where the research comes in. So, of course, I did a little bit of research. This is what it says. The statement that the Office of the Comptroller of Currency has, quote, fired the starting pistol in a race to open new banks, unquote, is generally interpreted as a move towards making the process of obtaining a national bank charter. They just made it easier, folks. We're in the door. We're kicking the door down. That bank money, in my humble opinion, is going to be easy to take at some point. We have woven our way into the system just so deeply. But let's keep going. So obtaining a national bank charter more accessible, particularly for non-traditional financial institutions like fintech companies. This positively affects distributed ledger technology companies, DLT, which are often a subset of fintech, by potentially offering a direct and clearer pathway to become a full or special purpose bank. I told people 3 to 4 years ago, the videos are still up. I said that if you wanted to, if the bank coin companies wanted to, they could become banks. Did I say that? Yes, I did. Whoa, we've been cooking. Feels good to get things right. And I also said if DLT companies wanted to become successful, they'd have to become bank coins. Well, what happened with Chainlink bank coin? What happened with Solana? They say they're going to take banks that will make them a bank coin. Hedera bank coin. We do some good work here. Once again, take those powerful hands. Boom, boom, boom. Hit that like button. Let's keep going. Powerful stuff they're releasing right now. The OCC's push signals a more accommodating regulatory environment for non-traditional firms, which directly benefits DLT companies in the following ways. First bullet point, direct access to the U.S. banking system. It's over for them. They're finished. The legacy system, they're finished. It's done. It's over for them. This next couple of years is just, deploying, tying things up, announcements, all the fun stuff. That's what I see. All the fun stuff. I mean, unless there could be catalysts. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm not an absolutist. There could be things I don't see that are coming for sure. But I can only speak on what I do see. The fun stuff is ahead. The hard work is almost done. But let's keep going. Obtaining a national bank charter allows a DLT company to operate across the entire U.S. under a single federal regulator, the OCC, preempting the need to navigate the patchwork of 50 different state-by-state licensing and regulatory requirements. This vastly accelerates and simplifies national scaling. Tell me we're doing good research. Talk to me. Legal clarity and legitimacy. A bank charter grants DLT companies the highest level of regulatory legitimacy. This reduces uncertainty about the legality of their operations and makes it easier to attract institutional capital. Once more, they're going to hand that bank money over. It's not financial advice, just my humble opinion. It's over for. They're finished. What people knew to be the legacy system is over. We're going to take them all, in my humble opinion. Wow. Let's keep going. I'm a little excited. Yes. Let's keep going. Attract institutional capital. That's life-changing. Interbank payments is life-changing value for XRP holders, HBAR, XLM, Chainlink, Solana, XDC, whichever companies are working hard. I don't know these. I don't know these people personally. All I know is if you do a good job, you close those deals, those partnerships, you deploy, you do everything you're supposed to do, and you remain on this trajectory, victory, cha-ching. But it's up to them to do that work. I mean, but let's keep going. So, and the banks there's a wild part. Those big buys, the treasuries, they know. The banks and asset managers and whoever's buying by proxy these massive amounts that they're holding, they know. They're trying to go around the bank coin companies, but they can't. They're not realizing, or maybe they do, they just don't care because there's so little. Maybe they don't care because there's so little of us bank coin holders. It's a tiny little bit, 8 billion people in the world. So, but they're trying to acquire bank coins to use the system without those companies. Doesn't make a difference to me, does it to you? As long as that price goes up, it doesn't make a difference. But they want to or intend to take a shot at utilization of the system alone. We'll see how that works out. But also, simultaneously, they're going to dip their feet in the water of the bank coin. I'm not saying all the banks. Some of the banks are just going to use the bank coins 100%. But there's a lot of banks. So I do see some of them that are looking like they want to try to use the systems without the bank coin companies. They're just going to use the bank coins outright. I understand that. But I think they'll simultaneously also, they've already dabbled in the bank coin technology because they have, they want those private ledgers. They want 2 or 3 options just in case something doesn't work out. They can have something to fall back on, which makes sense in my humble opinion. All of these will be conglomerations, period. All of these systems, what do they call them? MBDCs, MCBDCs, multi-central bank digital currencies. But let's just take the whole central bank aspect off of there. There's still going to be conglomerate systems. Bunch of different bank coin technologies thrown together, some for smart contracts, some for liquidity, bridge currency aspects, some for traceability. Boom, AI, sprinkle a little AI in there, and you got a good system right there. I think that's what they're looking at. This makes sense? And I say that because not everyone's going to do the same thing. I don't want to paint all banks as a monolith. I don't see them as monolithic. If they were, we wouldn't be taking advantage of them right now because of their fragmentation, correct? All right, there's more. You thought there's more. Let's keep going. So I want to jump here to the federal services part. I think that's important. Access to federal reserve services. Being a federally chartered institution, even a special purpose one, could grant the DLT company direct access to key Federal Reserve services such as payment systems, direct access to payment rails like FedWire. We'll take it. Why not? It's nothing. That's nothing. But it says is essential, allowing DLT companies to process transactions. What it does, though, because the Fed will now feel as though we're on their team, even though their power has been greatly undermined as well. I mean, by them. That's a self-inflicted wound. You want to be honest. And their independence has been questioned, obviously. The mainstream media did that. I didn't do that. That's the mainstream media. But because they'll feel like we're on their team now, that brings more business connections, folks. It's about a lot of business is about who you know. I learned this a long time ago. I'm telling you. Anybody who's been either in the sports industry or movie industry, you know what I'm talking about. Movie or TV, it's the same thing. You work on this particular project. If you do a good job and you're cool, and I did some good work, I feel, and I'm cool. Like I can be around anybody, any environment, and I thrive. That's just me. I'm just myself. So I'm comfortable wherever, and people like that comfort. They start giving you cards. Oh, we're working on this project. I still have cards to this day. I never even called the people. No disrespect. I still have cards. People handing me, we're working on this project. If you want to just give us a call, if you want to participate, we have this project here, You're just getting all these cards. So it's about who you know. They give you connections. That makes sense. My apologies. I did not say that eloquently enough, but it's true. And it works in this industry as well. You're close to the BlackRock, the Fed, whoever. And they like you for whatever reason, they're going to connect you to different entities and people. That's my opinion. So now let's keep going. So it also says liquidity, the ability to access the Federal Reserve's discount window, providing a crucial source of liquidity during financial stress. That part I'm not worried about whatsoever. Liquidity. I think we're better off than they are, especially going into the future. I'm just being honest. We can pull liquidity in the future with RWA. We will have so much value, so much liquidity. So many things can be liquidated. I think we'll be in a better position than the Fed. You want to be honest. I think what we're witnessing, once again, it's not just the new financial system as far as being a substratum of everything. No, I think what we're bearing witness to are the new powers of the system. I do. Now, while legacy actors may maintain their characters, well, I'm the Fed and I'm the IMF. Yes, in appearance. You maintain those positions in appearance, but I think we see new powers are rising. New decision makers are rising. But anyway, Next bullet point, special purpose national bank charters. The OCC has a history of exploring or granting special purpose charters for non-depository fintech companies. While legally challenged and refined over time, the current, quote, race suggests renewed regulatory willingness to approve these limited charters. A DLT company could seek an SPNC to focus narrowly on activities like custody of digital assets or payments without the full regulatory burden of a traditional bank. So once again, that's called a special purpose national bank charter, SPNC, if you want to look it up for yourself. And I suggest doing that. Nothing better than knowing for yourself, seeing for oneself. It's okay to be told something, but it's better to see it for yourself. Seeing is believing. I've learned over my lifetime for many, many people, no matter the source. Let's keep going. It says here, for a DLT company, becoming a bank means they can offer services like custody, lending, and payments directly on their distributed ledger platform while being fully compliant, merging the innovation of DLT with the safety and soundness of a regulated bank. There's a lot going on here. The OCC has previously taken steps to incorporate digital assets and DLT into the federal banking system. These actions have included permitting banks to use stablecoins, allowing banks to hold digital assets in custody. So, I mean, listen, folks, that was major activity. Let's keep our eye on that. And we shall see how everything continues to go. How long has the video been? Now, here's something else I want to put on your table. So, oh, bear with me. My apologies. Bear with me. For some reason, it's ads. Ads are making this website just loading. So then when the ad loads, the website's moving up and down to accommodate the size of these different ads. All right. So let me, my apologies. This article is titled BlackRock Stung by Loans to Business Accused of Breathtaking, quote unquote, Fraud. Folks, this is another reason why. And I believe BlackRock heavily is going to utilize DLT technology in the future to verify certain things. Hey, you want to do business with us? We need your books to be verified. We need to see what's going on. We need to know 100% that this is legit. And DLT can do that. It offers maximum amount of transparency for everyone involved if you want to do business. And BlackRock is getting very close with Ripple. They're close with a few companies, but Ripple has been, in the media lately. We'll see how that works. They definitely could tap into some XRPL technology for transparency. But let's keep going here. It reads this: an entrepreneur tapped private credit funds to finance his telecom businesses. Now the lenders say he defrauded them. Yep, BlackRock, they're going to want everything verified. One thing I know about BlackRock, they do not play. And doing something like that to them is actually, you want me to be honest, is actually dangerous. Yeah, I said it's dangerous. They're not anyone to play with as an entity. I'll leave it at that. Make up your own mind. Oh, they're not dangerous, mate. Are you sure about that? Really? Okay. BlackRock's private credit investing arm and other lenders are trying to recover hundreds of millions of dollars after falling victim to what they called a breathtaking fraud, marking another breakdown in an opaque corner of U.S. debt markets. Notice how a lot of this has been getting exposed. So this is exposed here. Then we had all of those banks before that could have caused a bank run. They were involved in things like this. That aspect is going to bring in DLT, smart contracts, and AI to make sure that nobody is pulling off any fraud. And that's one reason why I believe they're allowing this to be put in the media, or else they would have buried this. In the past, they used to bury things like this. These companies don't want their reputation taking a hit so the public can know that they can think that there's some weakness in them, that they can be tricked. That's not good for your reputation, but it is good if you plan on instituting a new technology and you need to justify it. Well, we're instituting this new DLT technology because look what happened. They're frauding everyone. They're ripping everyone off. They're lying. We need to make sure that the numbers that they present are real. And thus, we must deploy this DLT technology. Everybody will say, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't want to be ripped off either. Right. I just wanted to point that out. Now, watch the trend of news like this coming out for other companies. Why? Why is it all coming out now? You think it's just a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidence. I mean, you can, to each his own. But for every effect, there is a cause, which means there's no coincidence. There's a reason behind this type of news being so prominent right now. All right, so now let's move on here. We're going to go to a little bit of Bitcoin news. We'll see if we make it to a little bit of gold news today. A lot of gold news released today. It was very, very positive, in my humble opinion. This article is titled "Bitcoin and Ether Brace for $17 billion Options Expiry Amid Fed Meeting. Tech company earnings." It says traders eye potential volatility as Bitcoin hovers near max pain. What? Max pain around 114,000. Were you here? Who's the article writer? Were you here when Bitcoin was like $23,000, $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 max pain? We've seen pain. All right. So it continues on here. Bitcoin, which is, it went down some, is read at $107,756 at the time of this article. Still not bad, in my humble opinion. This is options worth roughly $17 billion are set to expire on Friday on Deribit in one of the largest monthly options expiry of the year. There are 72,716 BTC call option contracts and 54,945 BTC put option contracts due for settlement, representing a combined notional open interest of about $14.4 billion. Scroll down here past the video. With the Federal Reserve meeting today. So did this come out yesterday, I'm assuming? Yes. Where did we leave? Sorry, I lost my spot. With the Federal Reserve meeting today, that was yesterday, to set U.S. interest rates and major tech company earnings scheduled this week, markets are bracing for a potential spike in volatility. Options are derivative contracts that give investors the right, but not the obligation. We know what they are. Why are you preaching to the choir? How many new readers do you get that you have to say that? Or did you just put that as filler? Well, let's keep going. At 82.5% of open interest out of the money OTM options dominate traders' holdings, showing a clear preference for speculative positioning. This suggests that while some traders may be using OTM options as a hedge against sharp price moves, the overall positioning reflects an expectation of heightened volatility and significant market swings. Both calls and puts cluster heavily in the OTM region, with significant open interest around strike prices of $120,000 and $130,000, while puts dominate at $100,000 and $110,000. With Bitcoin trading near 113, like I said, right now is at 107,000 something dollars. The market is gravitating toward the max pain level of 114,000. Once more, Bitcoin right now currently is trading around $107,000 at the time of this article and video, which will be released many hours later. So you just need to check up on that Bitcoin price personally if you want to know what Bitcoin is right now. You know how that goes. That price changes rapidly. And yes, now I'm preaching to the choir. What did they do to me? It rubbed off on me. As Bitcoin trades near the max pain level. I love that max pain. It makes me think of that old video game. Remember that Max Payne? That was a good game. Did they ever remake that? What doesn't matter? I'm not going to play it. It says price action sometimes gravitates toward it ahead of expiry due to market makers hedging activity. However, this is just a theory. Then they go into a little bit of Ether. No disrespect, but I have no interest in Ether. So with that being said, folks, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.